Honeybees and flowers have an intimate and fruitful relationship since time immemorial. The honeybees help in improving the yield and quality of crops through pollination and also provide us honey, wax, propolis, royal jelly, bee venom, and pollen. Beekeeping can be adopted as part-time business easily along with agriculture. This can be adopted by small and marginal farmers and even by landless people. Beekeeping technology is very easy and simple and can also be adopted by young and old people, including women. It can be taken up as a full-time occupation for income and employment. The present-day beehives are made of seasoned wood. The parts include one bottom board, two chambers, one inner cover and one top cover, which is covered with aluminum sheet that protects from rain, etc. The queen excluder is placed between brood and honey chambers. The size of wire mesh is such that the queen bee cannot enter and lay eggs in the honey chamber, and thus honey can be extracted without harming the brood. There are 20 wooden frames which are fitted with comb foundation sheet. The bee builds its comb on these frames, which yields more honey in less time. These foundation sheets are passed through a machine for hexagonal cell impressions. The important equipment required for beekeeping are honey extractor, smoker, bee veil, hive tool, queen introduction cage, ant protection bowl, beehive stand, bee brush, uncapping knife, pollen trap, gloves, etc. Beekeeping can be started by investing small amount of money. It can be started with 5 to 15 honeybee colonies. Normally, a beehive with super costs Rs 600 to 1000. The present day cost of a 5-frame bee colony is approximately Rs 1500. In the beginning, beekeeping equipment costing Rs 4500 is sufficient. The investment required for starting an apiary of 5 honeybee colonies will be Rs 15,000, which a beekeeper can recover in about 1 year. Maintaining an apiary of 100 honeybee colonies can provide full-time employment for 2 persons. In India, 4 species of honeybee are present: Apis dorsata, Apis florea, Apis cerana, and Apis mellifera. Out of these 4 species, Apis dorsata and Apis florea are wild and cannot be domesticated, whereas Apis cerana and Apis mellifera are domesticated species and are maintained in hives. Apis dorsata is wild, biggest in size, and constructs largest comb on tall trees and high buildings. Apis florea is also wild but smallest in size. Apis cerana, or the Indian honeybee, constructs parallel comb in hollow tree trunks, rocks and walls. It can be domesticated in modern hives in hills and plains of India and on an average yields 7 to 10 kg honey per colony per year. Apis mellifera, or the Italian bee, is a domestic species. It yields between 15 to 20 kg honey per colony per year. Attempts were made in the past to introduce it in India from abroad. The first such attempt was made by Sri Ghosh in 1920. Due to the efforts of Dr. Atwal, this species was successfully established first time in Nagrota, Himachal Pradesh in 1962 and later in Ludhiana, Punjab in 1965. There are 3 types of members in a honeybee colony. Queen bee is biggest in size and brown in color. There is only 1 queen in each colony. The abdomen of the queen is longer, tapering and not fully covered by wings. Its major function is to lay eggs, which is done as per the capacity of the colony. Under favorable climatic conditions, it can lay up to 2000 eggs per day. It has a normal lifespan of 2 to 3 years. The size is smallest and it has a lifespan of about 6 weeks. Most of the work of the colony are done by the workers. In honey flow season, an Apis cerana and Apis mellifera colony may have 15,000 to 30,000 and 30,000 to 80,000 worker bees respectively. The male bees are known as drones. They are bigger in size than worker but smaller than queen. They are stingless with large black eyes. In a colony, their number can range from a few hundreds to about 1,000. In breeding season, their sole function is mating and fertilizing the queen bee. It neither collects nectar and pollen nor produces wax, and hence are treated as good for nothing. Its average lifespan ranges from 56 to 60 days. There are certain enemies of the honeybee such as the green bee eater, ants, wasps and wax moth, from which they need protection. Mite attack disables the honeybee from flying and produces foul smell in the bee colony. Dusting 200 mg to 1 gram sulfur per frame in the colony on the top bars controls mite attack. Regular cleaning of bottom board and removal of empty combs prevent attack of wax moth and some other diseases. Honey is a sweet, thick and flavored natural product prepared by honeybees from the nectar of flowers. Honey is believed to be complete infant food. The foraging bees collect nectar from flowers and the nectar is then stored in comb cells. Initially, this nectar may contain about 40 to 60% water. When the concentration of water is reduced to about 16 to 20%, the bees seal the honey-filled cells with wax cappings. This ripened nectar is called honey. The worker bees collect nectar and pollen as their food and store it in their comb. The bee wax is more paying than honey. It is secreted by the worker bees and is used in several ways. The royal jelly is believed to be a nutritious food of medicinal value. Royal jelly contains protein, fat, minerals, carbohydrates, etc. Besides these, it may also contain vitamins like A, B, C, D, and E. Propolis is a sticky brown resinous substance collected by Apis mellifera worker bees. Propolis possesses antibacterial and antifungal properties because of which it is used for treatment of several diseases. The worker bees guard their colonies from enemies by stinging. While stinging, the bee injects venom into the body of the enemy and dies. Scientifically, the bee venom can be extracted without killing the bees with the help of bee venom extractor. Bee venom is very valuable and used for the treatment of rheumatism, arthritis, etc. In India, other hive products are still not fully exploited and beekeeping is mainly done for honey and bee wax. Pollination is an important component for seed and fruit production. Transfer of pollen from male to female part of flowers is accomplished by several agents. Among the insects, honeybees are the most important pollinators of crops, which improve the quality as well as quantity of crop yields. Honeybees are also proving important for pollination in polyhouses. It is estimated that only about 1/4 of the total available bee flora in India is being utilized and the remaining flora, which is going unutilized, can sustain 1 million more honeybee colonies. For starting and successful beekeeping, one must get training in apiculture either from any university, government or private organization. It is better to obtain training from university or government institutes. Beekeeping courses are being organized by Chaudhry Charan Singh Haryana Agricultural University, Hisar. This beekeeper obtained beekeeping training from Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana in 1979 and started with 5 bee colonies. By the year 1988, he multiplied these to 100 colonies successfully. Generally, a farmer sells his honey in bulk without packing and labeling, because of which the rate he gets is low. If he obtains egg mark and sells it in packed and sealed containers, he is likely to get higher price for the same. Ishwar Singh Yadav is a progressive farmer who has not only obtained egg mark but also has a laboratory where he examines the quality of his honey. He also imparts training to new beekeepers. In case a beekeeper has large quantity of honey and a processing plant, then he can process the honey and sell it with egg mark. He can even export his honey. This factory belongs to a farmer who started beekeeping with just 50 colonies and within a short time turned it into full-fledged big business. Today, Sardar Jagjit Singh exports honey worth over 50 crores annually and provides employment to thousands of people. Shri Jagjit Singh Kapoor started with 50 honeybee colonies and attained the present status within a short time. According to him, 50 to 60 tons of honey is being processed every day, which is packed, labeled and stored in a scientific manner for export to different countries. After extraction of honey, the wax from the comb could be sold to generate income. The farmer could make new colonies and sell them to others. Pollen could be collected with the help of pollen trap and sold. The farmer can rear queen bees in mass scale in field-cum-lab conditions. The individual queens can be sold to new and needy beekeepers for instant cash payment. Healthy and better quality queen bees can be produced through artificial insemination. According to the bee scientist, the instrument being used for artificial insemination of queen bee is called artificial insemination equipment. 2 hooks of the instrument are used to open up the genital aperture of the queen, which is placed herein. The queen bee is observed through microscope and the semen is injected from the syringe with the help of a screw. With the awareness of the role of bees in pollination for higher productivity, farmers and big orchard owners get bees for pollination and pay the rent to the beekeeper. A person can manufacture and sell the equipments used in beekeeping for more income. Sardar Jaswant Singh Tiwana started manufacturing beekeeping equipment like honey extractor, comb foundation mill, queen excluder, smoker, etc. He also has honey processing plants of different capacities. The processes from procurement of wood to manufacturing of bee hives can generate employment for the people. Bee flora is the vegetation from which the honeybees get their food. Some bee flora serve as the source of nectar or pollen only, and some other flora serve as a source of both the nectar and pollen. The important bee flora of India includes oilseed crops, mustard, rapeseed, sesamum, sunflower, etc. Vegetable crops for seeds, cauliflower, cabbage, radish, carrot, coriander, onion, fennel, etc. Forage crops, maize, pearl millet, Egyptian clover, lucerne, etc. Cucurbits, bottle gourd, squash, ridge gourd, cucumber, muskmelon, watermelon, etc. Other crops, pigeon pea, gram, green gram, cluster bean, psyllium, cotton, coffee, cardamom, rubber, etc. Fruit trees, lychee, jujube, citrus species, jamun, tamarind, Indian gooseberry, pomegranate, pear, papaya, apple, guava, cashew nut, almond, date, coconut, etc. Forest trees and weeds, eucalyptus, neem, arjun, silk cotton, acacia species, shisham, drumstick, tun, soapnut, mulberry, karanj, mahua, and several weed species. Ornamental flowers, marigold, dahlia, cosmos, pentas, etc. Important tips which a beekeeper should follow for seasonal management of honeybee colonies. In summer, in order to protect the honeybee colonies from high temperature and hot winds, the beehives should be placed under proper shade. They can be placed under the shade of trees or temporarily prepared thatched roof. Covering of the beehives with wet gunny bags in such a way that the entrance for bees is left open proves beneficial. Sprinkling of water on these gunny bags during the day helps in lowering the temperature. Provision of clean water should be made near the apiary site so that the honeybees can collect water for maintaining desired colony temperature and for mixing in honey which they feed to their young ones. While extracting honey, some honey should be left in the honeybee colonies. In case of food shortage, make due provision for the supply of alternate food. During the monsoon, apiary should be maintained under shed with proper air circulation. Protect beehives from rains and storm. During the cold season, the beehives are to be protected from chilly wind. Frames with raised combs or comb foundation sheets should be provided to the colonies regularly during honey flow season. By doing so, sufficient space remains for egg laying, brood rearing, and food storage. In the absence of sufficient space, the bees construct combs without frames, which is not in the interest of the beekeepers. Precautionary measures should be taken to avoid swarming. Extract honey whenever required. It is the endeavor of Indian Council of Agricultural Research to promote beekeeping in India so as to increase crop productivity both quantitatively as well as qualitatively through honeybee pollination and concurrently generate additional income and employment. Efforts are also afoot to develop beekeeping as a full-fledged occupation.